Hey gang, it's just me, Ghetto Mama, and I'm doing a car bang. If I can figure out how to set you up where you can see me. I don't know how this is going to work. Anyway, it's time for a mukbang. And we have KFC. This big old Mondo piece of chicken. Buck, 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 buck. I need to set this piece of chicken in my lap so I can get to my other food. Anyway, this is a chicken breast. And we got that 3-piece meal thing. It's like $24, $25. So we got French fries, macaroni and cheese, and coleslaw. I haven't been here for a while. And I cheated earlier. I went to Jack in the Box to get an iced tea before I had an appointment. Jack in the Box iced tea is really good, by the way. So, what have y'all been doing? I've been just all over the place. Let me tell you. I'm with AJ. I can't show you her because it'll screw up my little... I'm using a KFC bucket for my tripod. Anyway, so I had a whole bunch of stupid shit going on. Always stupid shit going on in my life. So, I'm going to tell it like it is today. I'm going to give you my whole story. Anyway, February 11th, my young son, and his girlfriend got into a fight. They decided to do cocaine for the first time that day. Kids don't do drugs. Resulted in her passing out and going to the hospital. They were fighting in my house most of the day. But they were leaving and coming back. Which I found it odd because I'm in my 60s. I don't know if you guys know how really old I am, but I'm in my 60s. Nobody wants to sit with me. Trust me. I'm very conservative. And I don't have much to say. On their level. Oh no! Hold on, gang. Anyway, I don't have much to say on their level of life because I don't participate in things they participate in. You know what I mean? Old moldy and square. Okay, here I go. Sorry for dropping you. Anyway, so they got into a fight. And I really didn't understand none of it. Because they were sitting on my couch text fighting. Then they'd get up and start boxing. And about a week and a half before that, she got a piercing right here on the bridge of her nose. And it was starting to get infected. So it was swelling up and her eyes were turning black and blue from the corners and then starting to go out. You could tell that piercing needed to come out. Anyway, I guess he struck her a few good times. Put some bruises. I have security cameras all through my house. There was no big nothing going on except for a lot of posturing, a lot of yelling. Yes, they both boxed each other. Anyway, it resulted in her going to the hospital because she said she was passing out. And I think that they both thought she was ODing. Went to the hospital because she had this thing going on her face and a few bruises right here. He had scratches on his neck and a few bruises. So now my house became a crime scene. My son came home after taking her to the hospital. He stopped and talked to me for a minute. And said that he was gonna... I go, well, where's the girlfriend? Oh, she went to the hospital. She was passing out, and I was really scared. So he took her to the hospital. On top of being on coke that day. Ooh, chicken skin. On top of being on coke that day, she got morphine in her because her face hurt. And she looked terrible. So, but he didn't say none of this stuff. He was just saying that she's passing out. And he was really scared. Anyway, like I say, in the hospital, they gave her morphine. She's on cocaine already. And they were smoking weed like Cheech and Chong, because that's what the hell they do. Not inside my house. They go outside my house to smoke. They go wherever, friend's house, wherever. So, the cops came to my house because she said that she got beat up and all this stuff, and because she was high. My house became a crime scene. So the cops were searching my house till like 4 something in the morning. I got arrested. All the little children, Bug, Jesse, the littlest boy got taken away. Luna got taken away. They're back home with us now. They're only taken away like, I don't know, maybe close to 3 months, because we proved that we're good people. We jumped through all the hoops that CPS wanted us to jump through. Got investigated, everything. Anything CPS wanted us to do, we did. Kids are home, case is closed, blah, blah, blah. Everything's all good. But I got arrested that night. And because for child endangerment and neglect. You know why? Because young son that was fighting with his girlfriend put a gun in a box behind the sofa. When you come into my house, you're supposed to take your shoes off. And I guess when he was getting ready to go outside, the cops were already out there and lighting my house up all blue, so he put this gun in the shoebox. Wasn't even his gun. I got arrested. Mama's got arrested. And when we got out the next day, but as we were sitting in jail, my son had called somebody, the owner of the gun, to come back and get the gun. So he broke into my house. You know I have pit bulls. He broke into my house. Big son was there. He's the daddy of the 3 little kids. He was there, and he was woken up by the dogs going ballistic, trying to figure out what was going on. He came out into the living room, and this guy was standing there, and all of a sudden he bolted.
No, I had dogs in my trailer.
Huh?
I had dogs in my trailer. Yeah, these shirts are walking around.
Well, there was dogs in the house. Well, she says not, but according to Big Son, he says the dogs were barking. So I don't know. I wasn't there. I was in jail. Anyway, so dude ran out of the house. Didn't get no gun because cops already got the gun, because that's why I got arrested. I got out later on that day. I have nothing against me at all. I've never had a traffic ticket. I have no legal, nothing. I've never ever been in trouble. In 60-some years, I've never been in trouble. But now I'm in trouble. So, anyway, the 9th I was supposed to go for sentencing of this month, and the district attorney that's trying to get my son in trouble, she stood up and made that courtroom about him, not me. So now I'm going to get sentenced another date later on. I have to jump through all kinds of hoops for that shit too. So that's my story. Another story is, this is why I've been like upset. I've been wanting to tell you guys this for a long time. But we did not know anything about this gun in the shoebox. We didn't. Nothing. But yet we couldn't prove we didn't know, and because it was there, he put it in there after we were in bed. Because he came home after we all went to bed. And that's when he kind of woke me up and was talking to me when I asked her where girlfriend was. Anyway, let's end that story. So, next story. Grandma Dot Dot came down here because baby's mom and I didn't know if we were going to go to jail or not on the 9th. So she came down to help watch the children. She came down October 17th. Prior to her coming down, she lives in Ohio, by the way. Prior to her coming down, she was sick with an earache and a sore throat and all this business, and was at the doctor like a week and a half or 2 weeks before she decided to come down, before her ticket was, for her to ride the train down. So, she didn't finish taking her antibiotics. And when she got here, like 3 days later, she became ill. She says, oh my God, my throat hurts, my ears hurt, I don't feel good, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so, because she has out-of-state insurance, like Medicaid, now the doctors around here take Medicaid, and because we're all broke, ghetto people, we didn't have money to go to the doctor, and, so we just sent her to the hospital, and then we'll catch up with the bill later. That's what we thought, because that's what most people do. So she went to the ER, more antibiotics. I forget what else they gave her. What else did they give her? Remember?
No, just antibiotics.
Well, just antibiotics, and they told her to take Tylenol or ibuprofen for her fever. So, okay. Okay, you're good, So, this was on the 21st, I think. Yeah, 21st. And then on the 28th, or the day before Halloween, she was in bed and we heard this big loud thump. So, baby's mama came out to investigate to see if the boys, because the boys like jump around and bang things around their room, see if one of the boys got out of the bed and was tearing the room up in the middle of the night. They weren't. They were in bed. They were sleeping. So she went to check on her mother, Grandma Dot Dot. Grandma Dot Dot was sitting on her bed in a total daze, going open, open, open. Baby's mama and big son didn't know what to do because she kept saying open. Kept saying, do you know where you are? And she goes, open. I said, oh, well, maybe she's sleep talking or something, but it wasn't the case. They thought she might have had a stroke or something, so they called the ambulance, the 911 to come and get her, which they did. They came and got her, and took her to the hospital. This was like about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And then by, I think it was like about 10 o'clock or something in the morning after it became daylight, the hospital called and said that they're going to admit her. Okay. She had a high fever. Her fever was like 104. And because her blood pressure was unstable, they decided that it would keep her. That was the reason to keep her fever and her blood pressure. So anyway, they kept her. And I don't know how she ended up like this, though. Okay, I don't know. Nobody's ever told me these details. Anyway, she ended up in ICU. On a
yeah,
vent.
she had trouble breathing.
Oh, she started having trouble breathing. She wound up in ICU on a ventilator. And they thought she might have had pneumonia or something.
So they tested her for COVID, yeah.
So they tested her for all these, different things, pneumonia, COVID, and all this stuff. Turns out she had COVID. Mind you, people, she had 2 COVID vaccinations, the original one and then the booster one. She shouldn't have got this ill. So, she's on a ventilator, and I don't know, she lost consciousness or something. They gave her sleep medications, probably to calm her down, because they said if you're intubated, they need to do this kind of stuff. So she's calmed down, and everything. Her oxygen was going up and down and up and down. It was like full oxygen, giving her full oxygen. She wasn't getting any oxygen on her own. So then a couple days later, she started to breathe good, and they were weaning her off the vent, totally off of it. And let's see, I think that's like the 6th or 7th day she was off the vent. And then something happened where she was unresponsive again. She was just like laying there sleeping, type of thing. I don't know all these details, so I'm probably telling it wrong. But anyway, she didn't know what was going on or anything, and they did a PICC line on her to give her more medicine and all this stuff. And they told baby's mama, which is her daughter, because Grandma Dot Dot has a pacemaker. They said if she has heart failure or anything, a heart attack or anything, we can't revive her because it would be cruel. They just can't with the pacemaker. I don't know how much bullshit this is or not, but they said they couldn't do it. So basically, she had a do not resuscitate order on her because of the heart condition and because she's very obese. Anyhow, so I keep saying this, long story short, but the story keeps getting longer. It was on a Wednesday. The hospital called and says, oh, she's doing really good. And she wants her phone and all this stuff. So we're all like, oh, good, she's doing good. And we're trying to figure out how to get her home at this point, because we thought, she lives for her phone. She sits and plays with her phone all day long because she likes all these stupid Facebook games. So anyway, baby's mama took her phone up there to her and found out that they had to restrain her because she was ripping out all the stuff from her. She had a feeding tube. She had oxygen, but she wasn't intubated, and she had the PICC line. She just went ripped everything out, so they had to restrain her and sedate her. She wanted to get the fuck out of there and go back home, I think. And Thursday, baby's mama called. Oh, she's the same. That's what they said. She's the same. Maybe her oxygen's going up and down. She's the same. And so then Friday came along. In the morning, she was the same. Oh, there's my watch. Turned it off. Anyway, that's my alarm clock for 3:30. So Friday, she was the same. And then by 1 o'clock in the afternoon, they called baby's mom and said, we need to talk about end of life. And we're like, what? Because she was okay, the same, getting a little better, and everything. Then they're talking about this shit. Well, what had happened is they found some blood clots in her lungs. And I guess this was a huge part of the problem. And baby's mama's sister decided, oh, well, she's suffering, so let's take her off of all this oxygen and life support thing. See, I don't know what they could have done because she had blood clots in her lung. Maybe gave her some Wayfarin or whatever they call it, blood clot medicine. I don't know, but anyway, basically the doctors and everybody said that she wasn't going to get any better, and her her internal organs were all failing. She's like just dying. So they took all her stuff off of her at 5:30, and baby's mama was up there. Well, they took it, and she said that all the levels on, you know, like that machine thing, just kept dropping. And she had everybody on the phone talking to Grandma Dot Dot. You know, Grandma Dot Dot was sleeping. She wasn't like aware of anything. She was sleeping, so she had the daughter, her other daughter, and different people on the phone when they were doing this, and it's sad. And then by 10:30 at night, baby's mama gets a call, and they said she passed away. So yeah. So we've been dealing with this all weekend, and my head's spinning around, okay, people? My head's spinning around. My young son's in jail. His 2 children. Oh, I left a part out about his 2 children. The little girl, Lunabelle, she's in CPS, and the new little baby that was born August 13th is in CPS. My young son was out on bail, but there was some kind of a order on them where they weren't allowed to talk to each other, but they were talking anyway, I guess. See, nobody comes to me to talk to me unless they have a damn problem or something. So I really don't know, and I've called my son, called him. He don't answer to me. My time he calls me, hey, I need some money. That's the only time I'd hear from me. That's the only time I hear from any fucking buddies, if they want money or want to blame me for some of their shit. But anyway, their fight that day was about, he caught her in the parking lot of a warehouse that she was working. She was a warehouse like person. He caught her in the parking lot with somebody, and the proverbial question was, tell me. Obviously, she knew she was pregnant, but didn't give a shit, was doing the cocaine. And the little baby that she had, the little boy, on August 13th, does not look like my son, doesn't look like anybody. You know, not to sound racist, because I love Mexican people, but he just looks like a little Latino Mexican baby. He doesn't look Indian, he doesn't look white. He has his own look, but I love him just the same because he's Luda's brother. And I'm Grandma no matter what. And I will never have enough money for anything. All I want is my family together. And the holidays are shitty because the 2 little Lunas, the little boy, he's not with us, and my young son's in jail. And I have all this court shit going on, and my health problems, which I don't want to talk about those right now because that's just way over the edge. But anyway, that's what's going on in my world. It really is. And yeah, happy Thanksgiving. I hope you guys are all together. I'm happy. But anyway, so yeah, so that's what's going on. So now you know my whole story. Don't throw me under the bus. I don't deserve it. I've been ran over by that damn bus. Alright, gang. I'll see you next Mukbang if you choose to come back after all this bullshit.